Alrighty. Welcome back, everyone, to the Last Alliance of Noobs and Men. I'm Liam. Yeah, today we've got Sean, and we're visited by two very special guests. Introduce yourself, lads.
So it's Scott from SW Miniatures.
And Daniel, I'm also from SW Miniatures, although I do feature sometimes on Atomic Cards.
Oh, cheeky.
Yeah. Cheeky.
We can put that
All
in.
right.
We can put that in the title now.
Yes.
SW and Atomics. Let's go. Well, we're here today to talk about a couple of lists because our group, the Last Alliance of Noobs and Men, we're running a intergroup tournament. So there's 11 of us, going to this this event. It is just for bragging rights. It's not calculated into the Queensland League tournament scene yet. Invite only. Sorry, guys, just for the best of the best. And so this is our third one. And now that we've got this this YouTube channel going, we thought, hey, let's see if the SW guys want to come and absolutely destroy our lists and tell us how shit they are. So here we are. We'll have a go.
That's it. Yeah. So we've got 11 lists here. Sean and I do have a list in this in this bracket. That's the word I'm looking for. And then we've got 9 other lads from around the channel. A couple of them been on, a couple of them being on, and they've all submitted some very very interesting lists.
Real funky ones.
What's the name of the tournament?
It's called Noobs 3 Birkdale Drift.
Brilliant.
Because we had our first one, which was just Noobs, and then our second one jokingly got called what was it?
It was Noobs 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Noobs 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then the Facebook wouldn't allow us to make that into an event because
that's right,
political thing apparently, and then we changed it to something like. It was a Too Fast, Too Furious reference.
It was, and now we've got Birkdale Drift.
And thus, it's the Birkdale Drift because that was the third movie in the Fast and the Furious franchise.
That's what it was. It was
Tokyo Drift.
It was Two Noobs, Too Furious.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah. And now we've got Noobs 3 Birkdale Drift.
Yeah, it's the Noob cinematic universe going on here.
Do you know any of the missions, or is
no
what's the mission pack? Is there anything in there?
It's players pack was simply 500 points. We're going to be using the veto system. I don't know if you guys over in the UK have used that too often, have you?
Yeah, Tom
we do
Tom
sometimes.
from Atomic Cards does that a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah. So good, evil, veto. If there's too evil or too good, you roll off, that kind of stuff. And yes, that should give us some balanced relatively balanced gameplays.
So there's 4 rounds for this tournament. And there's obviously 6 pools in the scenario pools. So on the day, just before each round, we're going to roll for the pool. And then that gives us the 3 scenarios that we then use our veto system on to figure out the scenario. So everyone's game is going to be potentially different.
Interesting.
But we like that random.
You've got some lists in there which is going to do very well on certain missions, but they're just going to get vetoed.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's no one's gonna have a scenario that's gonna be, this is my scenario, I'm gonna be fine here. Everyone should be at very least in a scenario where they're like, well, look, even, hopefully.
Yeah, because there is a lot of, I say a lot, there's been a few tournaments I've gone to where everyone knows the scenarios going into it, and you kind of look at them and you go, well, cool, I've made this list, the scenarios are this, I'm going to struggle the entire event. So
it's worse.
We're trying to eliminate that. We're gonna.
Yeah, it's been times where you've made a list, you've submitted the list, you think, this is a great list, I'll do fine in most scenarios, and then the scenario pack's released and it's like, I've got Galadriel and Contest of Champions, cool. So we'll jump into avoiding that.
Helm's Deep Legendary Legion. Now this one is run by Mr. Dan Jones. recently kind of getting back into the hobby. He's had a bit of a break, mainly due to work and obviously the pandemic and whatnot. But so he's getting back into it all, and he's jumping in with the Helm's Deep Legendary Legion. So Warband 1 is the Uruk-hai captain with shield, which then gets turned into his leader. So from memory, it goes up to 3 might, 3 attacks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It's got an Uruk-hai with banner and shield, 6 Uruk-hai with shield, and 6 with pike. Warband number 2 is another Uruk-hai captain with shield, 6 Uruk-hai with shield, 5 with pike, and then it's got a shaman with armor, 5 Uruk-hai with shield. What's your thoughts on that one?
So first of all, you've got Assault and Helm's Deep, but you've got no bomb or ballista.
We don't like them here.
But I can see that you're going with a lot of fight 4, strength 4, defense 6, which is really good. But I think I would take this out of the Assault and Helm's Deep Legendary Legion and get a strike in there, because the Legion's not doing anything apart from giving your Uruk-hai captain 1 might and 1 attack. So for, I think it's 15 points more, you could get alerts and then you get a strike in there. So if anybody does go into your leader, that you've got a bit more of an insurance policy there that he can survive. Daniel?
I think it's a pretty solid list. 65 points for a 3 might 3 attack Uruk is unbelievable value. One of the main reasons you want this list is for the ballista and the bombs, though. I think one of the top lists at the London Grand Tournament a couple of weeks ago, I think he came 3rd or 4th, was running Assault Legendary Legion. Sorry, cat in the way. He was running this Legion with a ballista and a bomb, and he did exceptionally well. The main thing I like about this list, I think, is going to be the Shaman, Fury and stuff in a list with such good troops is going to be unbelievably good.
I do like the list a lot, but definitely what Scott was saying, you could probably just take it out of the Legendary Legion, bring in a hero that can strike, even switch out the captain for Ugluk if you really want to, because they're just flat 65 points switched together. I do think a big reason that the bomb and the ballista's not making a showing is due to just being at 500 points. You lose so many models when you bring those 2 in, and it just
it have to be one or the other.
Gets to you, you're in struggle town. I think you prefer having numbers, so I think that's probably a big reason why he's put it into the Legendary Legion, just to get that captain with the 3 points of might and 3
2 models as well.
So it's a good number.
It's a lot of Uruks, but I feel that if you've got a couple good heroes playing against this list, so a couple of my 500 point lists, I get like Spider Queen and the Foul Beast, stuff like that. I look at it and I think nothing's really contesting them, and they could just go in. They don't have to use their might for anything else. They could just go in heroic combat, and they could kill 2, 4, 8 Uruks a turn. That's 16 in 2 turns. That's broken in 2 turns.
Yeah, that's true.
I definitely don't think there's anything inherently scary about the list. It is just a big block of fight 4, strength 4 warriors that are just charging in and hoping for the best. I think that's probably going to be the strat around this army.
Well, I think, to be honest, it'll probably play a lot of the scenarios really well, because it's got the numbers, it's got the survivability, it's got the shaman for sticking around. I think it'll play the scenarios really well.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. That number count, especially when not knowing the scenarios, you can lose half your army, but shaman, you won't get the 66%, but still, you're still holding. You're holding objectives pretty easily with this army.
And if this
Yeah.
plays elves or any strength 3 men, they're going to struggle against this list because the
Yeah.
amount of defense 6 and the fight 4 strength 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
A lot of
it'll have,
shielding as well.
it'll have some good matchups, but it'll have some bad matchups as
It
well.
definitely feels like a classic Isengard list, Jack
Yeah.
of all trades, master of none kind of deal.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
Um,
Lorien, this is run by one of our 2 Nicks. We have a lot of people in our group with the same name.
Got a lot of double names.
So this is run by Nick F. So he is taking Lorien, Lothlorien. So he's taking Galadriel, 1 Galadriel warrior with shield and spear, 7 Galadriel warriors with elf bow, 1 Galadriel knight with bow and shield, 3 guard of the Galadriel court. He then has Warband 2 with Rumil, 5 Galadriel warriors with shield, 5 Galadriel warriors with spear and shield, and 1 Galadriel warrior with banner and shield. Pretty stock standard Galadriel list.
I'll start off. So I play Lothlorien myself. So Galadriel, I used to play Galadriel when we'd seen a lot of Rangers of Ithilien lists in our meta, and I did well with the list with Galadriel, but now they're gone and our meta doesn't see that much shooting. Galadriel for 130 points, which puts up a blinding light, but again, you play lists where you don't need that. And then you've just got a transfix. She's unarmed. She can't go into combat. I don't really like running her now because there will be games where she just all she's doing is throwing out a transfix, and the other model can still resist it, or you can still fluff your dice rolls.
Yeah,
so there's still
absolutely.
going to be turns where the other model is not going to be transfixed and they will be killing. So I actually like Celeborn now. So
fair shout.
So personally, I like the list, but I would put Celeborn in instead of Galadriel.
Yeah,
No,
fair shout.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a fair shout. How many extra points, or is he extra points, Celeborn over Galadriel?
I don't think he actually is.
He's 130 points.
He might be 140. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's 130 base, but then you've got to add shield, sword, heavy armor, which I think makes him
145.
145, 150, I think. Yeah.
Which you take out 2 Galadriel warriors and you basically got that, which is not bad at all.
Galadriel does really well. She's a very reliable spellcaster, and then you're almost never going to give away leader wounds with her as long as you've got some lads around her. Like she's might only be D3, but with fight 6, heroic defense, re-rolling failed fate rolls. Sorry, she lives pretty well. But yeah,
and you're not putting her into the thick of it, so she does survive.
Yeah. What about yourself, Dan? Thoughts?
I don't have any complaints about this list. I think it looks really solid. Maybe with Scott's suggestion of Celeborn instead of Galadriel, it could up the sort of killing power of the list. But again, I suppose when you want to be running something that can go up in any scenario, I feel like this is a good shout. You've got some knights, you've got plenty of bow shots, you've got lots of fight 6 in the list. It looks pretty good to me, to be honest.
I think I would even be tempted to get rid of Galadriel, bring in, say, Haldir, bring him in.
Yes,
and
I was just going to say that.
I almost ran that list, actually.
Fair enough. use your remaining points to bring in 1 or 2 sentinels.
Yeah,
or maybe extra Galadriel court guard. So I think that's probably the only changes I would make. Other than that, it's a solid list. It's run by Nick. He knows what he's doing with Lothlorien.
Nick plays a lot of Lothlorien.
I've seen him, because I know I've seen him because I went up against him, use Galadriel, who got more kills than Lurtz did in Contest of Champions. So if Yeah.
That's one thing as well, is where you've got the veto system. If you do get the contest of champions, then this list just vetoes that, so you don't have to worry so much about that with Galadriel.
Yeah,
Yeah, she does very well there. Yep.
And the one more mention as well is when I play this, interesting because you say he plays a lot of Lothlorien. It's the war bands. How I make my war bands up is a bit different. So with the Glathrun warriors, with the elf bows, I put spears on them, and then use them in the back rank, shooting over, and then they can spear support as well. And I tend to put a mix of like half and half in both war bands as well of the bows, sort of split them up.
Good shout. Yeah, the spears on elf bows, I've used that before as well, and it does work very well.
I think a good rule of thumb for making or figuring out your warband configurations is, can this warband hold up on its own?
Yeah.
That's something I always ask myself, is if I'm playing Maelstrom and that warband's out on its own, can it hold up? Can it do a job to get back to the main force?
Yeah.
And so I think
though, two warbands at 12 models each, I think they both hold their own. But I think splitting up some elf bows, not the worst idea. Absolutely. And I think actually Galadriel's warband ends up a bit weaker with all the elf bows in her. She's only really got the Galadriel court and two other dudes and the knight.
Yeah.
Not really a lot to help herself there. If she was on her own. My first thought was, Rummel on his own now, he'll be fine. But looking at it now, Galadriel on her own might actually end up in a bit of trouble. Yeah.
Although something you still need to look at with bows is they're still warriors, even though they've got bows.
Yeah.
They're still going to do a job. I know I used to fall for that back in the day of like, they've got bows, so they're archers, they're worse in combat. Reality, no, they're not.
Yeah.
In most cases, they just have one less defense. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think it's part of like a weird cultural thing of like, archers are going to be bad at hitting things, whereas in the game, no, not the case. Not the case. Just a regular warrior has a bow.
What's the next one, Mr. Liam?
I've got Army of Dunland on my next one.
Oh, all right.
Which I'll have to talk less about because it's my army. Please roast me.
To be fair, this is one of the lists which I'm back in.
Oh, Liam,
I am as well.
Don't get cocky, man.
You wanna? I'll read it out. It's my list.
I can't even find it. But yeah, you read it out. Yeah.
So Army of Dunland Legendary Legion. Thryden Wolfsbane on horse with 4 Dunlanding horsemen. Gorolf Ironskin, 5 Dunlanding warriors with shield, 6 Huskarls, and a Dunlanding warrior with shield and banner. And then a Wildman Oathmaker with 6 Wildmen, 5 extra Wildmen with 2-handed axe, 1 Dunlanding warrior with shield and banner, 31 models, 500 points. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I'll let you go first this time, Dan.
Terrible.
Sure. Honestly, I think this is arguably the best list in all of the submissions.
Oh. Cover your ears there. Cover your ears.
You get a big
I don't
head.
want to hear none of that.
Yeah. The only thing I maybe wouldn't do is have both banners at 500 points.
Yeah.
You can get another horseman instead of the second banner because the banners are going to be 6 inches anyway.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have no complaints about this list other than 2 banners maybe being a bit overkill at 500 points.
Liam just wants to know what it feels like to have Imrahil in his list. That's it.
I want discount Imrahil. No, one thing with the banners was that I just didn't have anything else to put in. I don't have any extra horsemen. I don't have a Crebain. Otherwise, absolutely, it would have been a Crebain or it would have been an extra horseman. Absolutely, yeah. But that just worked out that I was like, sick. I've got exactly enough points for an extra banner. I've got an extra banner. Done.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, that being the case, I can't fault the list at all then, really.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's,
said,
I love
I
this.
said exactly the same, to be fair, as the two banners, because like you say, you got the 6-inch banner and the Legendary Legion.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you already know, like you said, you'd put the Crebain in there. The Crebain just wins missions. So yeah, that would be my only change really, is just drop that banner for a Crebain.
Yeah, that was actually my thoughts exactly. But you guys are welcome back. You guys can come back whenever you like.
Oh god damn it. That's not going to be good for the event. If Liam wins it, I'm going to be mad.
I think that list does take some piloting though.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
Dunland in general, you definitely have to be on your ball when playing it.
Why not? So that'll be fine.
Liam, learn to roll sixes and you'll be fine.
Exactly.
I think the Wildman, that warband is probably the only one that kind of scares me, because I've seen Wildman warbands or just Wildman army just disintegrate in a turn. And if that happens, that's half your army just gone.
Yeah.
It is nice
Right.
that they are fearless with the Oathmaker running around. So going up against other lists that we'll see soon, you can just throw one of them in a turn and quite happily just go, yeah, that's fine. Just kill it. Doesn't bother me. My other guys will do other work. So it's a worrying list, and it is definitely up there for me as one of the contenders in this tournament.
Yeah. So why I like the list is because when I build lists, I like to kind of have an answer for all different things, be it scenarios or big heroes or terror, all like a list which has answers to everything. And I feel like this does, like you say, you've got the answer to terror, you've got the models to play the mission. I like the what's his name with the 3 heroic defense every turn.
Goroff. So good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite heroes of the game. 70 points, 3 attacks, strength 5, 3 heroic defense.
Yeah, you just if they've got an Aragorn, you just throw him in there in defense every turn. You hold him up, though the rest of your army does the work. So I think
That's his job.
Yeah.
I quite like having that fearless warband as well, like, especially in the UK. The meta at the moment is to fill a lot of the army with terror-causing models.
Beautiful. Love that.
Seems to be quite common here. So that warband is pretty special. I have to admit. This list is. I'm voting for this one to win.
Oh, big calls.
Liam, when you come last,
I'll just send a video out, just crying. My apology video will be up shortly.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'll let you down.
The pressure's going to get to him now.
That's it.
Too much.
You'll make one bad call, and then your entire tournament's gone.
Another thing I forgot until just now as well. The Huskars also have bodyguard.
Yeah.
So more than half the army is fearless. Well, so long as Thryden's alive, I guess. But that's Angmar are a big tournament player in Australia at the moment, in Queensland. So
you at least see one at each tournament.
Yeah, if not two. Let's talk about Shire.
Let's talk about hobbits, baby.
So this one's a mouthful to read out. So we've got the Shire Legendary Legion. We have
quickly, the Meriadoc and Aragon both have shields and elven cloaks. I clarified that with Sean earlier today. He just happened to have forgotten to write it into his list. So they do
the war gear.
Yeah, so they do have their shield and elven cloaks. So that Anyway,
I'll
take it away.
So we have Merry with shield, elven cloak, 12 hobbit archers. We've got Farmer Maggot with his 3 dogs and 9 hobbit militia. We've got Pippin. I was going to say Perry, for whatever goddamn reason. His name's Peregrine. Surely that should have been his nickname. That's fine. He's also got Shield and Elven Cloak with 15 Hobbit Militia. We've got Frodo of the Nine Fingers, the army's banner, with 10 Hobbit Sheriffs. We've got Lobelia Sackville Baggins with 16 Hobbit Militia. Sorry, 6 Hobbit Militia. And finally, Freddie Bolger with 2 Hobbit Archers. 63 models at 500 points. What are your thoughts, lads?
So I can't say much because I don't know much about hobbits personally. Lee from the channel, he's started to make and he's painting currently a Shire list. Daniel, you might be able to explain this a bit better for me, what Lee's thoughts were on the list.
Yeah, so I was playing with Lee yesterday, and we just happened to have this list. You'd sent it to me and said, "Oh, Lee, look, someone's using hobbits." So me and Lee sat down and had a look at it quick, and I don't know, it seems okay. I mean, having the numbers is good, but there seems to be a lot of key parts of the hobbit list that are sort of just missing from this.
Definitely, yeah.
Not having the battling brandy bucks is going to be really painful because your average strength in the list is pretty low.
Strength 2 for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I quite like taking Lobelia here. Lee said maybe not so much, but I think Lobelia is great.
I think Lobelia is. Sorry, I think I was just going to say. Yeah, just going to say that Lobelia, I think, is definitely, you've got to play her right, because if she's too close to your lads, they're all fucking off. Yeah.
The only
Lee also likes the I can't remember his name, the one that gives you more traps, gives you 16 traps.
Yeah.
There was 4 heroes that I would have preferred to have seen in this list. In what order and what configuration, I have no idea, but I would have liked to have seen some of them in there. Tolpenny, for starters, solely just for the auto wound stone throw, which I think
rolling hits, and then on a 6 you auto wound. It's pretty nice.
I think it's just one of the funniest things in the game. The other one is Old Mate, who brings the extra traps, so that takes you up to 18 traps as opposed to 8 traps or something. Which is just ridiculous.
Who it is.
Absolutely dumb. But the 2 ones that I really wanted to see was Sam and Rosie brought in. I would have really liked to have seen them over Lobelia and Frediger. Just for that, the heroic combats and all the buffs Sam get.
Sam's your strongest hero in the list at strength 3. With Sting,
massive, what a monster.
Yeah, 2 attacks and 3 heroic combats. Nothing to sneeze at. It's Boldo Tolpenny is actually the one that does the traps and the auto hits.
There we go.
Yeah.
So bring him.
Huge value. Bring him in.
This list also suffers to what a few of the lists are suffering to, and that is just not having the models yet. Yeah. So I know Sean is in the process at the moment of building a Shire list, just like I'm in the process of building a Black Guard list. So we don't all have the models we would like to have. And this tournament is being used as one of those tournaments to test out lists and so on, because it is not a competitive one. So we do all feel like we can take something that's a bit more risky and not as optimized as we would like it to be. So I think that's what this, I say, suffers with. But yeah,
but it's still 63 models. I think at 500 points, I think most lists are gonna struggle against the 60 throw stones or the 17 archers. Even something like a assault on Helm's Deep with the D6 lads, you're still probably going to be pretty scared of 60 strength 1 hits coming towards you. You're definitely going to lose a couple of models there, regardless of your defense value.
This is 100% a weight of dice kind of list. So I'm going to throw myself in there and pray for a 6. And Sean K is notorious for rolling 6s.
Oh my god!
It just
will always roll a 6.
Yeah. Honestly,
what dice does he use?
He's got 1 ring dice. He's got a set of one ring dice, and they just roll 6s.
Yeah, even his he's got the 3 hunters dice as well. That'll still go real well for him.
But annoyingly, I'll roll them, and they won't roll 6s.
Yeah.
They only roll 6s for him, and he runs around and says dice don't have agency or urgency or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They do.
The dice know. The dice know what's going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But this will definitely be an interesting list, and this is actually the list that I had as my winning list. As soon as this got submitted, I went, oh shit, there's not much that he's going to be able to deal with. 17 bows, then 63 throw stones, and then 63 models in general.
Yeah. I am also I'm genuinely a little terrified of this list, even with fight value, even with banners and all that kind of stuff. It's hard to beat the weight of dice at 63 models. Yes. You really gotta get the right.
You can definitely see that with was Articon that recently just happened. The top 5 lists were all horde armies, and so there's definitely something to be said about horde armies at the moment.
Oh, let's do Moria.
Oh, this is a very quick and simple list. This is our boy Dylan. Just likes throwing the Balrog at literally anything.
Any problem he has, use the Balrog.
How do you kill Sauron? Oh, Balrog and a couple of shamans.
Colpenny, yes.
Colpenny, that's it. Auto 6, let's go. He's got the Balrog. This is being taken as the Balrog Legendary Legion. Depth of Moria, that's the one. Yep. So we've got the Balrog, 6 Goblin Prowlers. Then we've got 6 Goblins with Shield, 3 with Spear and Shield, and 3 with Bow. Moving to the next warband, we have a Goblin Captain with Armor. Obviously. Sorry, that's always included. And then just regular goblins, 1 with Spear and Shield and 1 with Shield. 20 models in total, 2 bows, 2 points of might, and bang on 500 points. It's a list that has the Balrog. That's about it.
Thoughts on the Balrog, everyone.
Dylan definitely knows what he's doing with the Balrog. He's previously just won our last tournament, or the last league tournament, with the Balrog. So he knows what he's doing. But I do think out of all the Balrog lists that he has written, this is probably his weakest one.
Yeah.
Dan,
your thoughts?
I think it's pretty clear straight away that all of the goblins should be in one warband. To have the Balrog on its own and have the captain with the prowlers and all the other goblins.
Oh no, other way around. Balrog does have most of the goblins. There are just like 2 in the captain's warband.
Yeah, so spin it round. You don't want any goblins in the Balrog's warband here. I think you will want all of them in the captain's warband.
Yeah, so I think you'd try and put as many into the captain and as little into the
otherwise captain's just gonna die. If it's on his own, he's just gonna get and then he doesn't have a shield.
And then there's your 2 points of might in the game just gone. Especially if he gets caught out in Maelstrom and his opponent gets lucky, that goblin captain's dead turn 1. Turn 2.
Yeah, this list is pretty weak against breaking because it's got such a low model count as well.
Well,
actually, it does have.
It don't break.
Oh no! It's got the Balrog.
It doesn't break.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My thoughts on this then is it's a Balrog list at 500. I ain't really got much to say about the Balrog at 500. It's going to be really well, or it's not going to do very well.
Yeah.
It's got to roll
I-
sixes.
I just think there's going to be missions where it's going to be very hard to lose, and then there's going to be missions where it's going to be very hard to win. I like to. I'm thinking about taking like the Balrog myself sometimes, and just hoping that you get the good matchups or you get the good missions. But I wouldn't have taken it with this rules pack.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're coming up against.
Well, you've got the veto, so
Yeah.
if you roll randomly and you get you get the ones where it's all about killing heroes and breaking, this is what the list wants to be playing.
Yeah.
Your opponent's just going to veto them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I looking at this list, I've run the Balrog a few times. I've run a lot of Moria. I like the list for the most part. Like the Balrog is going to do relatively well against almost everything, but it's just he just does really rely on sixes, and those goblins are going to die pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They even the prowlers, like around the Balrog, they can be fight 4, but they've got the -1s and they're not going to have any rerolls, no drum, anything like that. Yeah, I think it's definitely it's a list that really does depend on scenario and rolling well.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if your whole army dies and the Balrog's alive. And a lot of missions, it doesn't matter because you're not classed as broken. So you play to the death, you play contest champions, anything like that. You just win it.
Yeah,
but then you play domination.
Yeah,
that's going to be hard.
Yeah, objectives, like reconnoiter, that kind of stuff. You're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
No, I think that's about right. We've got Jack's Dwarves next. This is Moria, or Khazad-dûm, either of them really. So it's the Dwarf King, no other war gear, 6 Vault Warden teams. We then have the King's Champion with his 2 heralds, 8 Dwarf Warriors with bow, and a ballista. You got 26 models, 6 might, 500 points.
I know for a fact that this is a list that Jack went, how many Vault Warden teams can I take? And he said, I'll put all the Vault Warden teams that I own into one list and build around that. And this is what he's come up with. When the list first came to me, I was like, this is a very illegal list because you don't have enough warriors to have 8 bows, until I realized, oh, that's right, Vault Warden teams are 2 models apiece.
Yeah. I genuinely did that as well. I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, nope.
So I really like the ballista. That's going to be terrifying. The 8 bows on the Dwarf Warriors, hitting on 4s, strength 3 bows.
Yeah, Scott, you're
18
a dwarf
inch,
player?
sadly.
Yeah, so I've got dwarves, and Daniel's just bought into dwarves as well, and he's got a nice pink dwarf army.
Nice.
So I've played dwarves a fair bit, and I struggle a bit with them. They're totally different to the Iron Hills, where you've got means like you've got the goats and stuff. I find if you play recon against, like, say, Rohan, and you've got to spread your dwarves along the line so you don't get off, and then the whole Rohan force hits half of your army, you haven't got. There's certain missions which they struggle with, but there's certain missions they're really good at. But that's not what we're going into. We're going into the list. So the list for me, I'm not very keen on it, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
For how I build lists. So for this, you've got. So I'm a big fan of the Vault Warden teams. 450. I run 7 of them. So maybe at 500. So maybe at 500, I might have 8.
Wow, that's some Vault Warden teams. Dang.
But the problem is you've got the defense 9.
Yeah.
But then half the list you've got bows on your warriors, so they're defense 6. So if I played this army, I would just kill your defense 6 guys and break you.
Yeah, so all
And
the bow spear
and
guys are D6 as well.
that's the glaring thing for me when I look at this. I think, oh, 8 dwarf bows, they're going to be defense 6, right?
Yeah.
So you just go after them,
Yeah.
and you can kill them easily. And that's
True.
8. That's half the army. There's a lot of defense 6 in this list. You've got the spear guys, which is 6, plus the 8 dwarfs with bows. That's 14. So there's 14 models, which are D6. And I think I would go for a different hero selection myself as well. Again, this is all controversial because it's all people play differently. So 500 and under, I would play Kingdom of Moria.
I find it very funny that D6 in a dwarf list is seen as, oh, that's the shit part of the list. Whereas we were talking about Helm's Deep Legendary Legion before and going, they're all D6. This is going to be great for them. It's just funny how like different it's like, oh no, they're dwarves. They're going to actually struggle with D6 kind of thing. I just find that very amusing.
I think it's because that's the main benefit of the dwarves. I mean, they don't have as good movement. They don't have as good ranged stuff. You know, I mean, strength 3 bows is great. But,
but it's also because you've invested in the defense 9, and people would just leave that defense 9 alone and go for the easier targets. Like if you're strength 4, you're wounding the defense 6 and 5s.
Yep.
Where if you're strength 4, you need like 6s by 4s on a D9. I would go with Kingdom of Moria, and I'll go with Balin and Gimli personally.
I do know that this list went through a lot of change. So Balin was in there at one point, Gimli as well. He had the King's Champion and Balin at one point. I don't know how many different changes this list went through, but I think he settled on this one solely because he decided to bring the ballista, and because he brought the ballista, he then had to downgrade from the big beefy heroes to your king. And I do like the inclusion of that ballista. The king's
nothing to sneeze at though either.
Huge threat. I don't run a lot of siege weapons. The only siege weapon I've ever run is the Avenged Bolt Thrower. And
hang on. You've won the Wind Lance. Thank you very much.
Oh, that thing's a piece of shit. Don't get me started. I fucking hate it. You two need to tell Lee to never run that Wind Lance because it is junk. Anyway.
Or convince him to do it. It's man.
So I took the not the Wind Lance, the Bolt Thrower, and it didn't get a lot of kills, but the threat alone made it pay its points back. And I think that's exactly what this ballista is going to do. Is it's going to sit there. It's not going to get a lot of kills, but it will make his opponent go, oh shit, if I go there, that ballista is going to potentially tear me apart.
One thing that it's good for as well is if I play these dwarves, I hate coming to get up against Rohan. I find it a really bad matchup. But one thing that I can see with the ballista and the 8 dwarf bows is it brings the enemy to you.
Yeah.
And this is something that this list does do. It's got a lot of bow shots, and it's got the ballista and slow moving dwarves. It says, come to me. The only reason why I don't go down that route is because a lot of my games that I win by playing the mission. And when I bring like Balin and and Gimli and all that high defense, and you play domination, it got the march, you've got everything to go out there and play the mission. Whereas if I played this list, I'd feel like I needed to sit back a little bit more to make use of the bows and the ballista, and then I'm a bit slower end game to go and reach out and play the mission maybe.
Yeah, no, big time. Yeah, I think the king is actually a really good addition to this list though, because he does have march. And he's got fight 6, strength 4, 2 attacks. Like he's a solid hero for 75 points. I think that that really does strengthen the list up as well, because you then have that march to be able to go to those objectives.
And the King's Champion is nothing is nothing to look past. He's is terrifying. And he comes with 2 banners, which, look, I love 2 banners. I do. I love a good,
The
love a
King's
good 2 banner.
Champion point for point is amazing.
Yeah, good value.
Yeah, it's one of the
so good
best
value.
valued models in the game, I reckon, the King's Champion.
Yeah, big time. All right, well, I think we'll move on. I think let's do Blackguard list.
The Strong Boys. Let's go.
I
love
really
this.
like this list.
I'll read it out because this is my fucking list. Let's go. Gonna
Go
win
for
this
it.
tournament. And I'm playing a point down, so huzzah. Yeah. So I've got Shagrat War Leader just with his Shield of Kirithungul. So he's only D6, but he does get the knockdown bonus. I then have 10 Blackguard of Barad-dûr. I have 1 Blackguard of Barad-dûr with a banner. Warband number 2 is a Blackguard Captain with 11 Blackguard of Barad-dûr. And lastly, I have a Blackguard Drummer. Now, I've dubbed this list as Shagrat Scouts because it's fast-moving Urukai, but heavily armored. Let's go.
I can dig that.
No, I like that.
So 25 models, which is on, I think that's like a good-ish amount. I personally like to have more models, especially at 500. I like to be pushing the 30 mark. So 25 for me, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with. I got 5 points of might, which at 500 is doable. I'm happy with my list, but it's not the best list I've ever written.
So I play a lot of evil, and so straight away I love the list. 1 because it's evil, and 2 because I never see Blackguard Barad-dûr, and the models are really cool. So remind me, are they D7 with a shield?
D6.
They're D6.
D6.
So they're
And
fight 4,
they have
strength
got
5.
fight 4.
Yeah, fight 4, strength 5, D6.
Yeah, so it's nice, but you are paying the points for them, aren't you?
They're 12
12
points
each.
a model, so they are in that expensive side of things.
So I know you've gone for the models and you already feel like you're a bit low on the models, but I do like the armor on Shagrat.
Yeah.
Just because most heroes are strength 4, aren't they? So they need 6s to wound him if you start getting the hero fight. But I can get behind why you never gone for that and gone for numbers.
Well, even if he did have that armor bringing him up to D7, most strength 4 model or strength 4 models are still going to need 6s anyway. So that's why I thought it doesn't really D6 and D7 for me isn't much of a change. It's only really an extra defense against shooting, essentially. So that's why I'm not too fussed about that.
Well, no, if he's D6 now and it's a strength 4 hero, they need 5s to wound him. But if he was D7, they'd need 6s, right?
Sorry, yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, strength 4 to D6.
Yeah, it
my
would
bad.
be 5s. But if you went up that 1 point. But
then it changes a lot. Yeah, sorry.
But then how much is the heavy armor?
That won't be in the video.
It is 5 points.
5 points. So yeah, I probably would try and squeeze it in there.
So the issue there is I drop 1 Blackguard to give him 5 points, and then I've got
you have like I think 7
points I've got to
just sitting
find.
there.
Yeah. So this would be where my
Axes.
other change is then, and then you might be able to wiggle it a bit. So rate the banner. I rate the drummer. I love the drummer. I tend to take a drummer myself just to get your evil list into combat quick. So rate the drummer, rate the banner. The Blackguard captain I would change personally.
Nazgul would be interesting, but yeah.
Yes, that's what I'd go for. I'd go for a ring wraith. So you still got the
in
march.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, March. Yeah, I was gonna say chuck in Gorebag.
I'd want the march, I think. So with the drummer and the march, you've got potential going 12 inches with this list. Sure. And the other reason with the ring wraith as well is the Blackguard captain isn't necessarily going to be able to take on other enemy heroes very well. Shagrat will to a degree, but if you've got a ring wraith there, he can support and he can transfix big heroes if they've got Aragorn's, Danes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you don't lose your march. So I would probably swap the Blackguard captain for a Ring Wraith and put armor on Shagrat and then see how that looks. But I get if you lose a lot of models for this, then it might be a bit rough.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those lists as well that I did change a few things around. I did consider the Nazgul at one point, but I decided I just want to go with killing. And at 500 points, if you've just got one hero that is going around doing your killing, you've got a second support hero. At 500 points, you don't have a lot of things that can do killing. And so the Blackguard captain, yes, he's not going to be able to go up against bigger heroes, but his ability to run around and mince up troops while Shagrat is holding up the bigger heroes is what I was aiming for and what I'm looking at. Whereas if I throw Shagrat into bigger heroes, I do have to then rely on my regular troops who can still do it, definitely, especially at strength 5 and fight 4, to do the killing. And if there is another hero in that list, I'm gonna have my regular troops going up against heroes where I'd be much happier with my Blackguard captain going up against their smaller heroes, their captains, and so on. That was the thought process behind that.
The only thing as well is chucking the Ring Wraith in, you lose a point of might, because if you want to chuck the Ring Wraith in and then chuck heavy armor on Shagrat, you're only getting a base Ring Wraith with 1 point of might. That's 60 points. I think the extra might with the 65 point model, I think pips it out just a little bit in my mind.
Yeah, I know that if I'm moving up to say 600 points or any higher than 500 points, the next model I add is a Ring Wraith, even if it is just a base level Ring Wraith. Yeah. But yeah, the idea of this list is I just want to get into my opponent's face as soon as possible. I will not be using might on March because I fucking hate doing that with a passion. I think it is a waste.
Wrong.
I think it is. March is, in my opinion, it's not the worst, but it is overrated. I love a good drum, though. I love a good drum.
You believe this man? My God.
That's a chat for literally an entire video. Because
March wins your games.
No, it doesn't.
March wins games.
No,
March wins games, absolutely.
No.
Should we just do that now, Daniel? That's our little motto. March wins games.
Yeah, right,
March
absolutely.
wins games.
Yeah. No. What about your thoughts? Your thoughts, Dan? What's other than Sean's horrible opinions on March? What do you think of the list?
I like this list. I think it's great. I think the drummer is a fantastic addition. I think I'm agreeing with Sean more about the Blackguard captain over something else, maybe. Shagrat not having the armor is probably going to be a bit rough. But then you do lose you could lose a fair amount in the list for messing around with 5 points that you don't have spare.
I'm looking at Shagrat without armor and thinking, if I throw Gorolf into Shagrat, I have a great time. Yeah. I have such a good time with Gorolf up against Shagrat without full armor. Oh,
well, if I was the Lothlorien player, I would hope and pray not to go up against this list, because I feel like this is just a hard counter against elves.
As long as I get to him before shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he hasn't got that many bow shots, though, to be fair, has he? He had 8 shots. Yeah. 8.
Something like that.
7 dudes on foot and then the guy on horse.
Oh,
the reason, again, why I'm going to back my Ring Wraith thing, even if you lose 3 models, let's say, I'm going against both of you, yeah? You have Shagrat go up against an opposing big hero. You lose Shagrat, and then he can start walking through your list. Whereas if you can support Shagrat in a big hero fight and transfix, and then you strike and you take him out, then you can start walking through their list. So I feel that even if you lose 4 models, that's something like that could win you a game.
Still worth it.
Mm.
Yeah. That is definitely a fair point. That is
a very fair point.
Yeah.
Losing 1 model, chucking a couple of extra will, a couple of might, both the might,
And
then the
Shagrak's
armor.
going to do so much work if he stays alive. If he dies, or your opposing hero dies, as we know, that changes the tide of the battle.
Yeah.
Point well made. Well done.
No, most definitely. And I think you've convinced me, and I kind of wish I had done that now. Because as I said,
too late now.
Lawrence, I'm doing it anyway. I'm tailoring against you. No, it's as I said earlier, it is a list that I essentially built something very similar to that, but went against that to take this list. And looking back on it, hindsight, it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And you hear other people tell you, and you're like, yep, should have done that. But look,
the thing is, I could be wrong. All of us could be wrong.
That's very true.
That's it.
And we all build lists differently. But I like that support piece. I build my way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, of course. And I think that's the wonderful thing about this game is any list that is put on the table, apart from maybe ruffians, has a chance. No matter, and a lot of it comes down to piloting of said list, and even with lists that are as one-dimensional as, say, Dale, depending on who's playing it. And how
like some
they
really
build
good
it,
player like Sean.
No, so I think, and that's, as I said, it's the cool thing about this hobby is that doesn't matter how you build your list, we can look at a list and go, oh no, that's shit. But once it's on the table and it's being played, might be a completely different story.
That would have been a really good poignant point to round out the video on, but we do still have 2 more lists.
It is true, because how many times have you played an army and you've underestimated it and then got your ass handed to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dale, baby.
Dale, baby.
Why are you taking that list? Because it's good. Anyway,
I've only just realized that this list isn't completely bows. So we have a Rangers of Ithilien Legendary Legion list with the new update with Frodo, Sam, and Spiegel. This is a list that I think is right in that ballpark of you can underestimate it, but it is actually piloted by our current champion, Nick R, the other Nick. Sean's very mad about Nick being the current champion, but that's a point that can be ironed out on the battlefield. So
my crown.
Nick is running, Rangers of Ithilien. We've got Faramir with bow and armor. We've got 4 Rangers of Gondor with spear. And we've got 6 Rangers of Gondor just flat with bow. We've got Madrigal as the second warband with 2 Rangers of Gondor with spear, 4 Rangers with bow. Then we have 4 Warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, and a Warrior of Minas Tirith with a banner and shield and spear. And then we've got Frodo, Sam, and Smeagol, as you actually have to put those in the list now as the current errata. Yeah. So my first thought was actually I thought this list had full Rangers, but the fact that it randomly has a couple of Warriors of Minas Tirith, I'm actually a little less scared of it.
And it's only 21 models strong as well. When I found out that he was taking Rangers, I thought, here we go. But then he sent the list through, and look, I'm not knocking it at all, but I'm not as scared as I was when he first told me he was taking Rangers, because I built a Rangers list at 500 points, and I think I had nearly 35 bows in that list.
That would have been before the errata, though. So he does have to throw in.
Completely forgot about this errata until he submitted the list and was like, "Why did he do that?" And then remembering, going, "That's right, you've got to do it now."
It's so 185 points or something sunk into Frodo, Sam, and Smeagol. Yeah. What are your thoughts, boys?
I think having to take Frodo, Sam, and Smeagol really hurts this list. I understand why they did it because they need to balance it. I mean, the Rangers of Ithilien was quickly becoming meme worthy. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous list.
Very.
That definitely hurts the list having Frodo, Sam, and Smeagol. Numbers wise, although Frodo and Sam are very good models. I mean, you can get free heroic combats with Sam. You know, there's nothing to board that.
The ring.
You got the ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure about the warriors and the warrior with the banner. I feel like that might not be to the benefit of the list.
Yeah. No,
otherwise, it seems okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, the banner and the warriors is a real sticking point for me
if it was
at this list.
If it was just one warrior of Minas Tirith with banner, I would be like, yeah, sure, that's perfectly fine. But it's the other 4 warriors of Minas Tirith that confuse me.
Which I can understand, like you want to pass the banner off to like a model with a higher defense, but I think
so I think that's why he's done it, and the other reason as well is because you've got the bit more defense there for the front line.
Yeah,
because obviously Rangers and Gondors are what, D4, aren't they? Yeah. So you got any strength 4 guys that they're just getting killed. Whereas if you've got when the lines clash, I actually don't mind the little warband of the Ministry for Shields just to hold the front to make your combat a bit more defensive. So I don't mind that inclusion, to be fair. I would like to see a horse of Faramir.
True.
Like that again, I find that horse on Faramir can win games, be it playing the mission, running off, getting away from a Balrog.
That's
there's a lot of uses for that horse.
That's another video that I definitely think we could have like a 5-hour chat on, is taking heroes and horses, because I'm a big fan of not always doing that.
No, I agree because of the base size, right? And
not just base size, but
I like the theme of it, of not having like just a random hero mounted just kind of feels dirty to me. But that's just my thinking of that's not being as competitive.
I took Gondor to a tournament a couple of months back, and I decided to not put Boromir on horse. And the amount of shit I copped from everyone about not putting Boromir on horse, but I proved my point by winning that fucking tournament and going, Boromir, the support hero, come at me, bro.
Did you have other knights in that list though?
Yes, I had knights running around with Hurin on horse.
Yeah. So this is. So I'm not disagreeing with you with that, but this has no maneuverability. This has no other horses. So that is the only reason why I'm saying in this occasion I would take that horse. If you had an odd few other horses that could play the mission or whatever. I like the horse here.
Fair. It's a slow list as well with the 4-inch move on Frodo and Sam, like Frodo, Sam, Smeagol. You're gonna have to be moving slow about that as well,
because that kind of makes the rest of your army as well slow down to basically 4 inches. But
keep them alive.
I really like the inclusion of Madril over the other Ranger captains in Angbor and is it Angbor? Not Angbor. That's the fiefdom's boy.
Angborn
and Mublung
and
Damrod, Mublub.
Especially with the way that we're doing the scenarios being the veto system, the good evil veto system. Madril's beautiful because suddenly you don't care if you get a Maelstrom mission.
Yeah.
You're not automatically saying, I'm going to cancel that Maelstrom mission.
Yeah.
I think he's the first pick, right?
Pardon?
Yeah, Madril, Faramir Madril, I think, is absolutely how you should do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to take Faramir, don't you?
Yeah,
you've got to take Faramir, but then Madril allows your army to come in wherever, essentially.
Yeah, because he's still fight 5, isn't he, Madril?
I believe so. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah,
and it's not that expensive either.
No, not at all. He's a very cheap. Oh no, he's still fight 4. Never mind. Yeah, he does have 3 attacks. Oh, sorry, 3 might, 2 attacks. He's got March, which will help that list as well, actually. Because Faramir, I don't believe, has it. No, so yeah, that actually is going to speed up that list a little bit, which I guess there's that maneuverability for you, Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't really got much more to say about this, and I'm really interested to see how it's actually going to do.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good to see with the changes, because again, I think this could be something which you look at with the inclusions of Frodo, Sam, and Smeagol and go, yeah, no, I ain't got any legs anymore. And then I think it might surprise us.
I've versed Nick playing a very similar or like similar-ish Rangers list. This was before the errata, but he was like, "Oh, I want to chuck in Frodo, Sam, Smeagol. Why not?" And it does do still really quite well. Like Faramir's nothing to sneeze at with his 3 might, fight 5. Like he still does decent. And then you add in the fact that you can throw the ring in and then throw free heroic combat with Sam, and then you're suddenly chewing through a lot of models if you've got the ring and if you've got the free heroics thrown around. Yeah.
I think this army or this legendary legion went from being, this is the legendary legion that you take at 500 points because it's ridiculously good, because you could get up to 30 plus bows. Now with the inclusion of the new errata, it makes you go, I'm not going to take it at lower points. I'll take it at higher point values, at your 750s, your 800, and so on, because you can still max out bows, essentially, get a ridiculous amount of bows, and that 180 points at 700 and whatever is nothing.
It's less of a detriment.
Yeah, so it's split from that list that is basically solely taken at 500 and now turned into one that you take at slightly higher points.
Yeah. And Nick has one with weirder lists as well. Last Noobs, he chucked in a bunch of Eagles, Ratty on Slay, and Bayon, and took the entire tournament. Which is not a bad list, but it's a weird, again, a bit of a left field list.
It's a good list, but to win a tournament list,
yeah.
Because how many models is that? 4, 5?
I think he had 6 because he had a couple of
6 models. Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah. He did
well. Nick's another player that's got these dice that just roll 6s.
Only against you.
Only against me. To be fair.
Sorry, Scott.
I was just saying, I've got Eagles, and when you've got 2 dice, 3 on the charge, it's rough when you lose your combats against shielding bloody orcs. Like
that's what's really good against chucking the Ratty in that list, because you can just go, oh, I'm just gonna renew that Eagle. It didn't die. It's back to full life kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, that was last Noobs. We'll see if he can defend. See if he can defend that title. We did actually have another rule on the whole tournament. You couldn't bring the army you bought to the last game, so he couldn't just
tournament.
He couldn't just bring in Eagles again and to see if he can take it round 2 kind of thing. So second last list, I think we'll run to Army of the Dead. So this one is being piloted by our lovely host, Jules. He's running King of the Dead. We've got 3 Warriors of the Dead with Spear and Shield, 1 Warrior of the Dead with Spear, Shield, and Banner. We've got a Herald, and that has 3 Warriors of the Dead with Spear and Shield, and then he's got 8 Riders of the Dead. So low model count, but Army of the Dead.
D8, striking against your courage.
Can still be a very solid list. What are your thoughts, boys?
I really like this list. This is my number 2.
Fair.
Yeah, it seems really strong. Having 8 riders is going to be really, really, really good. It gives you a lot of options for playing the scenarios. It also just gives you a stupid amount of killing power. I'm very impressed with this list. I think it's going to be great. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. And Scott?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as keen on the 8 riders, you know.
Oh yeah, more models, you thought?
More models for me. Yeah, these lists, are they all the lists that are going to this tournament?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. But if I was looking at it from a standpoint, you don't know what's going. If you've got any monsters, they can go pick them riders off really easily with hurls and stuff, and they're so expensive points wise. I think and they can't go off on their own straight away because they got to stay. Yeah, I think I just went for more numbers and had two riders of the dead.
Oh yeah, so get some objective speed. Yeah.
Yeah. I always like a couple fast moving models, but the it's different. It's interesting.
I know that Jules said, I just want to take lots of riders, and that's exactly what he's gone and done.
I think he's taken every single rider model he had and thrown it into a list, much like the Vault Wardens list from before.
That's it.
Jules, Jules is coming off a wooden spoon of last tournament. I think he's.
He also took Army of the Dead
blood.
last tournament. We give him special consideration with list builds as he only owns 2 armies.
Yes,
so,
he's got Easterlings and Army of the Dead. So he's coming back with Army of the Dead, trying to redeem that wooden spoon from last tournament.
Last Noobs, that's it.
Yeah, and he's also our host, so we give him some special consideration. Army of the Dead, I think, will always do relatively well, like especially that D8, that high, the wounding against courage, and King of the Dead. I mean, King of the Dead versus Balrog is something I really want to see. that drain soul on the King of the Dead. Oof.
And now, Army of the Dead is one of those armies that you can be brand new to the game and still do well. It's not one of those armies that needs to be piloted. Really.
But it will still do well with a better pilot.
And to be fair with the list as well, with the 8 riders, is with the other lists that are actually going to this event, I think the 8 riders are actually good.
Yeah,
I think it's the most mobility.
Really like because like the Dunland list, they've only got a couple horses. They ain't got the Crebain, and then you've got the Isengard list. The maneuver, there'd be more. They had more maneuverability than that list. It actually adds a lot more maneuverability than a lot of the lists going to this event, which Army of the Dead normally struggle with.
Yeah. I think there's only one more maneuverable list, which will be. Oh no, that actually doesn't have as many mounted models as I thought it did.
No.
I was going to say the Bolg list, but it is not as heavily maneuvered towards hunters. No.
So normally I would disagree with the 8 riders, but in this occasion, in this event, I think it's actually going to really shine for this list.
He's got a lot more maneuverability than any other list in the tournament. Actually, yeah. Didn't even think of that. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
So I did just realize that we because I didn't have it on the drive, but we've got Elias's list to run through really quickly before.
But we've also got Lawrence's list.
Yes, that's the last 2 lists. I said last 2 last time. We've got 2 more. Yeah. But we will run into
here all day, guys. You're stuck with us.
Let's go. We'll run to Bold. This is a list that I'm actually quietly scared about. Bolg is a real monster. So we've got Bolg on Warg, and I'll move this over. Bolg on Warg, 7 Gundabad orcs with spear and shield, 3 Gundabad orcs with shield, and then we've got Azog on foot. So he's just base Azog with 4 hunter orcs and then 6 hunter orcs with bows, and they'll all have the Morgul arrows from Bolg there. And then Fimble on Warg with another hunter orc on Warg, and then 2 fell Wargs without hunter orcs on top. So 26 models, 6 bows, plus actually Bolg doesn't have his bow, so it's just 6 bows, 500 points. Yeah. The Morgul arrows. That's
Yeah, I just read up on this. Well, I say read up on it. all his Hunter Orcs with bows get Morgul arrows.
Because he's got Bolg in the army, yeah. And then
Which-
Bolg on Warg, his stretch limo, he's coming in.
He's the true Birkdale drifter, Mr. Bolgon Warg, with that long base, and he just goes. Whoop.
He's coming in. Yeah,
So-
what are your thoughts, boys?
I
Go ahead,
rate
Scott.
Azog, Thimble, and Bolg. Sorry, Daniel, you carry on.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, so the hero selection is really good. Bolg is like a lot bigger hero than a lot of the other lists that go in.
Yeah.
So he could take down a lot of the lists, bar Balrog. Glad you're fixing him. And this is again this comes back into your list with that ring wraith. Like Bolg would be quite terrifying for you, I think. But where if you had that ring wraith, I would be a lot more confident playing against this.
Yeah, 100%.
Only got 6 bows. I think I would have tried to max my bows out a bit more on this. And
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't.
not take the Gundabad. And I think I would have went more of an Azog Hunters list and went more mounted. Because looking at the field as well, what was going, if you played an all mounted list, like you're winning most of the objective missions against everyone. I know why people do take Hunter Orcs on foot, because you do get 2 attacks all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like this list mounted, maxing out the bows, to be fair. But I still think this is a solid list and a contender though.
You can, if he went full Hunter Orc, he gets 50% bows. And then
Yeah,
once again,
true.
those 50 bows get Morgul arrows. Still,
Yeah.
6 Morgul arrows is terrifying.
But he could have had well, what's that? Even just with the troop count he's got at the moment, I think that's 8 at least. And if he chucks Bolg with a bow, I can't remember if it's Nazog or Thimble. I think they come with a bow as well, though.
I think it's
or can
Nazog.
get a bow.
Both of them do, I think.
Oh,
And they
dead set.
both, yeah. Okay, so yeah, a little bit more, some might behind bows. That's kind of a bit,
Yeah.
a bit terrifying. But yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts?
I have very similar thoughts to Scott. I think the hero choice is excellent. I would probably have gone Azog's Hunters as well, instead of having an alliance here. Yeah, I mean, you're spending nearly 100 points on Gundabad Orcs. Now, I mean, that's great because you get the good defense, you get the spears and shields and stuff. That's excellent. But for 100 points, you can get the other Hunter Orc hero and a couple of Hunters on Wargs. You just go real heavy, fill the list up with as much might as you can. You got 4 mounted heroes. You can start using the might from the other heroes to slingshot Bolg around in heroic combats. If it was me, I'd have gone very hero heavy and put all of them on Wargs.
Well, when you've got Bolg running around, you kind of do have that confidence of dropping your numbers, because you can comfortably say Bolg's going to take out a lot of troops to even up that the model count.
Yeah.
He's fight 7.
Makes me so mad. That's another video. Oh my god, he should not be fight 7. Oh.
Is that the Lord of the Rings versus Hobbit book video?
Oh,
today?
that's a video that should be made. Power creep in MESBG. Oh man. Bolg on Warg is already.
He's a scary sight. That's it.
But yeah, no, I think I absolutely agree with you guys though. That if this list had been even, I don't mind the Nazog on foot with a couple of Hunter Orcs. That warband could have stayed the same, but changing Bolg's warband up to be Hunter Orcs mounted, couple of Felwargs if you really want to get that speed. But yeah, that would have been a much more terrifying list. But I guess not knowing what he's coming up against, that is it's still a solid list, I think. Yeah.
It is a solid list.
In my mind, it is definitely one of the lists that I've got up there as a potential winner.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was my number 3. I made sure to note down a top 3 before we did this, so this is my number 3.
Beautiful.
I had this at 1 or 2, I think. Yeah, it's a scary list. I really want to see this come up against the hobbits though. Bold coming in and just chewing up some little boys.
Mighty hero on turn 1.
Yeah, exactly. He'd get his special rules so quickly. Oh my god. Yeah,
Right.
not a lot those boys can do against it.
Now onto the last list.
And the
I
winning
love this list.
I
love this list.
It's
is the winning
definitely a
list coming
meme
up.
list. It's a meme list for sure, but it's also a solid bloody list. It's 4 models in total, 7 points of might, 495 points. He's got the big beefy chiefy from the Black Gate Legendary Legion. He's got a troll drum. He's got the Mouth of Sauron on horse and another beefy chiefy. So 3 trolls, the Mouth of Sauron. Both those troll chieftains have strike, which is ridiculous. But then one of them has an extra point of might. So nasty stuff.
Oh, this list, I love this list just purely because it's just, I want to have all the big things. I want to throw massive models around the board.
I think Troll's got to be one of the best models in the game, isn't it? For me,
it's so
anyway.
fun.
I think
love trolls.
regular trolls I don't rate that highly, like your cave trolls or your Isengard Immortal trolls.
Trolls with might.
But troll chieftains, Birder, oh my god, just dumb good.
Dumb powerful, dumb good.
Yeah, trolls with might.
Oh.
So there, this list, yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it just because I love trolls. And with the drum and the Mouth of Sauron, Mouth of Sauron's got March. These trolls are moving 12 inches.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The Legendary Legion is purely just for making that troll such a beefy boy, because there's no way they're getting the other special
Do you know the biggest thing, like the biggest buff I find with that Legion for the troll?
Oh yeah.
Ignores terror.
Yeah.
Because they're only courage 4, I believe.
Something.
Yeah.
Courage 4.
I think the Chieftain's courage 4. I think they're normally courage 3. Yeah, that's
you pay 140 points for a troll and you can't even charge some scrubs of terror. It's so annoying.
Yeah, especially a troll chieftain. Like, you're spending even more points, and
he shouldn't be scared of stuff. So that really irritates me. So him being immune to terror, and as well when you play all trolls as well, because I've done it a few times. Once you do get broken, it's so easy for your trolls to run away.
Yeah. But when both of them are heroes, they've both at least got 1 will, but the chieftain has 2. I think he gets might, will, fate, doesn't he?
Yeah,
yeah. Plus fearless, like that's a beefy troll. D8, 3 wounds, 3 attacks, straight 7.
The best part of this list is that if there's that off chance that he can get 2 trolls onto 1 model to give trolls +1 to wound.
I think it's only orcs, actually, sadly.
Is it?
It is only Mordor orcs that outnumber. Imagine though. Imagine a +1 on the 2 troll.
That would have been my favorite thing to see. But I like the fact that the troll chieftains are fight 7. You've got 5 points of might on 2 trolls, and they both have strike.
Yeah.
You just need to
moving go on the 9 inches with trolls. You're getting into combat very quickly.
I want to see this go up against the Balrog, because he walks in, he goes, cool, I roll 3 to strike up. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, what about
the problem is with that, the trolls only strength 7 for attack, so it needs 5s to wound the Balrog. It's a lot.
Yeah, if you could trap it with 3 trolls though.
Yeah, but I think you're probably getting trapped there, right? With the
Oh, 100%.
with all the
With the 20
goblins,
others,
yeah.
yeah.
most
absolutely,
definitely.
absolutely.
But I think
I
this
think that'd
is
probably be
one
rough.
of the lists that is either going to do really damn well or just terrible. Elias has taken an all troll list to a previous tournament at BrizCon a couple of months back, and he got a wooden spoon with all the trolls. That was
To
an
be fair,
escalation tournament. So
yeah,
starting at
escalation
200
tournament.
points to
He had
500
like 1 troll.
and moving up to eventually to 1,000 points. I don't think he won any of his games. I think he drew a game at best. So let's see what he does.
I think he should. I know he's going for all trolls and he's going for some fun, but I think definitely needs to drop that second troll chieftain.
Yeah, if
To
he
get
had
some
dropped that,
traction.
chuck some troops in there, and
Yeah,
it's probably a
get
bit more
banner
viable.
and Get
Yeah.
a banner for all them trolls, and get some troops, because the biggest weakness of this is he's going to get trapped, the trolls,
Yeah.
and then they're just going to die to traps.
Yeah, if he doesn't roll that 6.
I'm keen to
Yeah.
trap this army with my fearless boys.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, I love it just purely on I want to bring some big models, and I want to smash some things. It's just such a it's like a little boy's list. He wants to just go, I want to break things.
So interestingly, I went to a tournament last year, and I brung Lothlorien, pretty similar to the list there. Actually, I took Gladriel to this one because it's when Rangers were a thing.
Oh.
And game 2, I played this list.
Oh, you
So
play trolls.
I played all trolls, but he didn't have the drum. So I think I killed 1.5 trolls, 2 strength 3 shooting by the time he got there, because I still need 6s to wound the normal D7 trolls, which he was running.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all went bow shots. Managed to kill 1.5 trolls before he even got to me, and then Gladriel just transfix one. So this is what you should have brought ring race.
Yeah. Again, bring the ring race.
Ring race, Sean. Oh, fair enough.
I think
love,
there's probably only one downside to this list, which is the Mouth of Sauron's going to die immediately.
Oh yeah, straight away. Yeah.
Go on.
If
Yeah,
he doesn't though, bringing some magic.
Mouth
into
of
this
Sauron's
list is
got a
fun.
transfix in there as well, guys.
Yeah.
No,
That's it, yeah.
I've figured out his strat for this army. He's going to be kiting with his trolls, and he's going to be throwing stones the whole game.
I mean, yeah. I mean, D9, you run back, spend a turn throwing stones. D9, move 9, and then just go back again.
Yeah.
You just keep running away and throwing stones.
You don't want to fight my trolls? Cool. I'll just throw big rocks at you until you come to me. So, yeah.
People will forget about that for a turn as well. They'll think, what's he doing? Why is he not moving his full movement towards me? And then they just get a load of boulders thrown at them.
Yeah.
People will forget the throw stones.
Yeah, definitely. I would have. If you hadn't told me just now, I would have forgotten it the whole tournament.
Fair enough. Well,
Man.
let's have a look at our top 3s, shall we?
Yeah, so Dan's already got his ready. You want
Yeah.
to break it back to us again?
So number 1, Dunland, I think, is going to be the top list. I can't really see that losing, to be honest. I have to admit, I don't think it's going to have any bad matchups here.
It better
I'll
have
show
a
you.
good pilot.
Do you not think it would be tough against? Oh no, because I suppose he could just throw in Matey Boy into bowl and just defense all the time, couldn't he? I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got an answer for everything, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Assault on
Oh,
Helm's
well.
Deep, I believe, was my
Just
number
defense.
2.
Oh, Assault on Helm's Deep at number 2, yeah?
I think so. Yeah. I'm leaning maybe between that and Bolg. I think is 2 and 3. I guess you'll have to just see how they play out. If Bolg had more killing power on Wargs, maybe I'd put that at 2. But I think at the moment, the Assault on Helm's Deep Legion, I think, is probably number 2, and then Bolg number 3.
Yeah. And yourself, Scott?
Well, if Sean brought a ring wraith, he was my number one. He was my number 1 pick because Shag Rat and a Transfix with all that strength 5 fight 4 with a banner and a drum.
I should be number 1 anyway.
So where he hasn't got the inclusion of the ring wraith, I think logical sense. Army of Dunland.
I love this. Let's diss on Sean and give me all the praise. Let's go.
Yeah, I think Army of Dunland is my number 1 pick. The Army of the Dead, could do work here with them 8 riders, even though I said I didn't like the 8 riders. Even your strength 5 Black Guard still need 6s to wound the D8 warriors as well, because they've all got shields. So
what I love about that is I can also do then piercing strike and be strength 5 because I don't have to worry about the defense against Army of the Dead because I've got all axes.
Yeah. So actually, so what do you wound the Army of the Dead on?
I'd be
5.
6s as well. Oh, 5. Sorry, 5s as well.
Is it 5 for piercing strike?
I'd go to strength 5 with my Dunland warriors. Yeah.
6.
And you
I
can
think that's still 6.
2-hand as well, can't you?
Yeah, I could 2-hand with a couple of them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with the Huskarls. Yeah.
So potentially on 5s then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for there. Who what's his name running the Army of the Dead?
Jules.
Jules gone from last place. I am now putting him top dog number 1 spot.
Ooh, I'd love to see it. I really would.
Top that, Liam. But
Yeah.
we
doing
would
it.
love to see that
I'm
happen.
putting
That
him
would be
from
beautiful.
bottom to top.
Hey, Army
He's
of Dunland,
doing it.
Like, I can charge his models, but I think I'm courage 3 to be wounded against. So he's got some. Yeah, he's wounded me on 4s. So yeah. That's a good shout. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go from bottom to top. Jules, 2 Army of Dunland, and then 3. I think I'm gonna go for Big Boy Bolg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you would have been number 1 if you did have that ring wraith said to the captain.
Fucking ring wraith.
They'll know
What
for
if
next
I
time.
put in my new boy?
is that Brand? Yeah.
Yeah, what if I put in my new boy? He
Dale?
can be my proxy ring wraith.
It's your tournament, right? You do what you want, can't you?
He is the TO. Yeah.
Exactly.
You've seen all the lists. You now get to change yours.
Yeah, I'm TOing. I'm going to change my list, and I'm not going to give myself VP knockdown. So,
Catch you later. Well,
what's your guys' top 3? Who are you? What are you thinking?
I
Liam,
sent
go.
mine in yesterday. I after a lot of the you guys have made a lot of good points, but I think I'm still chucking hobbits at. It's got to be 1 or 2. That 63 model count with all of those like aggressive shooting with the 7 bows, which no one else tops. He's also got 1 million throw stones. So if you're not charging him in 1 turn, he's gonna throw 1 million stones at you. I really like the list. Then the sheer weight of dice, I think that can really do a lot of damage. I still rate that list quite highly. I think it's if Sean took the ring wraith.
fuck's sake.
No, I think I do think Blackguard are still going to do very well. I think they're probably my 3rd spot there, and I think Bolg or Hobbits are going to do really well. Yeah, I think either of those for top table for sure.
So,
When's this tournament happening?
pardon?
Next week.
Next weekend.
And Sean, your top 3 then.
My top 3. So, without putting my own list in, because I probably would put mine at 3rd, I'd say around that 3rd or 4th spot. So I'm not going to include my own. But number 1 for me has got to be Hobbits. number 2 and number 3 is a big like switch, constantly switching in my head between Dunland and Lawrence's Hunter Orc list. As soon as I saw the hobbits, I went, yeah, there's not a lot that's going to deal with the amount of shooting, the amount of stones, and then just having 63 models. If he plays it right and gets the proper rolls and gets those traps and uses all those sneaky tricks that hobbits can use, linking up your sheriffs to do the bash, knocking down your opponent so that they're on their ass, and then you're doubling your attacks and everything. He's got a huge chance at bringing out the tournament. Once again, Dunland,
I think his toughest matchup, I think, will be the Isengard list, won't it?
Yeah,
probably.
so.
Yeah, either that or
But
Bulk.
if he misses that, I agree. I think that has got legs if he can miss that Isengard list.
Yeah,
I think he also needs to miss. He needs to miss Bolg as well. I think he needs to miss Hunter Orcs because
Bolg will get Mighty Hero pretty quick.
really quick. Yeah, and I think Fimble and Azog will still do a lot of damage with against any of those hobbits. Like a lot of those heroes are still going to die pretty quickly to those boys.
yeah. No,
I like actually. I do actually really like Blackguard against that hobbit list because Shagrat with Blood and Glory. Against with those 15 odd heroes or whatever he's got.
I've essentially got Mighty Hero, baby.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's going to be an interesting tournament. These lists, as we mentioned before, are definitely not lists that you would normally see being run around Queensland. Each state here has a completely different meta. So that's why I just say Queensland, not Australia in total. So it's going to be a lot of fun, weird lists, and I think a lot of people have that chance to get into that top 3 podium, which is exciting. This feels like it's going to be a real tight, close tournament. Just looking at the list that we've got here.
Yeah. Thanks a heap for joining us. Scott, Dan, you guys were very insightful. It's really interesting getting the UK's kind of like insights on lists like this, because like even with those top 3s we've just said, like we all had very different top 3s, especially given the like the difference in your metas and stuff over there. Where can everyone catch you? I'm sure sure a lot of people already know, but give us.
Yeah, so just over at SW Miniatures on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And I think we should do this more often, guys. I think we should team up. We should an insight between Australia, the UK. We've got a tournament coming up, I think, in 3 weeks' time. It's a 2-dayer, and there's points difference. So on day 1 it's 800 points, on day 2 is 600 points. And I think there's about 7 SW lads going down there, and I think we should do the same again. And we send you our list, and you go over ours.
Most definitely, would love to do that.
Let us know in the comments. Anyone has any other thoughts on these lists? We'll have links in the description for SW. We'll have all the lists down there, thanks everyone for joining us. It's been a great time.
Make sure you do all the
good luck.
Thank you. Make sure you guys do all the classic YouTube jazz, the liking, the subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Not only to us, but over to the SW lads as well. Top notch stuff. Thanks for the insight, boys, and we'll see you around for sure.
See you on our video then, yeah?
Cheers.